Okay, so optional arguments are really good whenever you're going to have some sort of user input. Because whenever you have some sort of user input, you don't necessarily know if the user is actually going to input the data correctly or if they're going to input all the data, and you want to make sure your code runs as much as you possibly can. It also really works well if there are certain defaults that you want to use most of the time, but occasionally you want to override them. Because then with optional arguments, you can make sure that you don't actually have to specify those defaults every single time, and you only have to specify them when you want to override them. So let's look at a very simple case of optional arguments. So this is a simple function. It just is a times by 2, and it's just going to print out the thing. And the way you normally use it, of course, is times by 2, and then you put in a number like this, and it just prints out the number 6. But what if you don't actually specify a number? What'll happen? Error. It returns an error, which we would expect. So an optional argument would basically allow this function to run like normal without an error. So to do that, it's actually really simple. All you have to do is take the name of the parameter and say n equals n, and then whatever you want the default to be. So n equals n or 3.14159 because I like pi. And we can see when we specify an n, like if we specify 28, it'll run and it'll print out 56 like we'd expect. And if we don't specify anything, it'll print out pi times 2. So that's basically how you do optional arguments. You don't have to specify anything in particular in Lua in the function call. You just have to say variable name equals variable name or whatever the default is. So that is optional arguments in Lua functions.